If you're thinking about moving to Indiana from somewhere like Chicago, California, or the East Coast, the numbers here are probably going to surprise you because a lot of buyers coming from higher cost areas look at Indiana and think, there has to be a catch. But honestly, for a lot of people, this market completely changes what homeownership looks like financially. Right now, the median home price in Indianapolis is around $255,000. Homes are averaging about 21 days on market, and property taxes on a $300,000 primary residence are capped around $3,000 per year because of Indiana's property tax structure. And if you're coming from Illinois, that number alone usually stops people in their tracks. I'm Mike Hengy, your mortgage mentor in Indiana and Arizona. I've helped buyers move into this market from Chicago, California, the East Coast every week. Let me walk you through what you actually need to know before you start looking. Let's start with the actual numbers because I think this is where Indiana really surprises people. The median home price in Indianapolis right now is around $255,000. That's still significantly below the national median price. And for buyers relocating from bigger metro areas, that difference can completely change what's realistic financially. If you're using an FHA loan with 3.5% down, your down payment on a $255,000 home would be roughly $8,900. Closing costs on a purchase like this are typically somewhere around $5,000 to $7,000 depending on taxes, insurance, and loan structure. So realistically, you're looking at roughly $14,000 to $16,000 total to get into the home. And for a lot of buyers relocating from larger cities, that's actually less than what they've been spending on rent over the course of a year. If you're using a conventional loan with 5% down, that down payment would be around $12,750 plus closing costs. Again, still dramatically different than what many buyers expect coming from higher cost states. And honestly, this is the part that clicks for a lot of people. You're often getting more house, lower taxes, and lower overall monthly cost in a market that still has strong employers and long-term growth. Indiana gives a lot of buyers an opportunity to reset their financial picture in a really meaningful way. Now let's talk about the thing that shocks almost every out-of-state buyer I talk to, property taxes. That's because Indiana has one of the more homeownership-friendly property tax systems in the country, and most people moving here have never experienced that before. In Indiana, property taxes on a primary residence are capped at 1% of the assessed value. So on a $300,000 home, your annual property taxes are roughly capped around $3,000 a year. That's about $250 a month. Now, compare that to the Chicago suburbs. You'll commonly see effective property tax rates between 2 and 3%, meaning that the same $300,000 home could easily have $6,000 to $9,000 per year in taxes. That's a massive difference in monthly payment. Same price house, completely different long-term affordability. And Indiana recently added an additional homestead credit on top of that. So qualifying primary residents can receive additional tax savings automatically. No complicated process, no extra paperwork. Honestly, this is one of the biggest hidden advantages of buying in Indiana. A lot of people focus only on home price, but monthly affordability is really what impacts your day-to-day life. Lower taxes can completely change how affordable homeownership feels month to month. Now let's talk about what the market actually feels like right now. Indianapolis is still competitive, but it's not the chaos we saw a few years ago. Homes are averaging around 21 days on the market, and sellers are generally getting close to asking price. Inventory is still relatively tight under $300,000. So if you find a home you really like in that range, there's a good chance other buyers are looking at it too. And here's what I really want buyers to understand. You do not need to panic, but you do need to be prepared because the buyers who struggle the most are usually the ones who start browsing casually, find a home they love, then try and figure out financing afterwards. By then, someone else has already submitted an offer. The buyers who win are usually the buyers who already know their numbers, already have their pre-approval, and can move confidently when the right house shows up. That's really the key in this market. Preparation removes stress. The buyers who move confidently are usually the buyers who prepared before they started shopping. Let me give you a quick overview of some of the main areas people relocating here usually ask about. Carmel, one of the most popular suburbs in the Midwest, excellent schools, very polished feel, higher price point, median prices in the upper 400s. Fishers, very similar appeal, strong schools, growing quickly, popular with relocation buyers and families. Zionsville, more small town charm, limited inventory, very desirable area. Indianapolis proper, more variety, more price flexibility. Neighborhoods like Broad Ripple, Irvington, Fountain Square each have their own personality and feel. And honestly, the best area really depends on your budget, your lifestyle, commute, schools, and what kind of environment you really want day to day. There's not one best area, but there's just a best fit for your goals and lifestyle. One of the biggest questions I get from relocation buyers is, can I do this process remotely? Absolutely. The mortgage side is fully digital now. Applications, documents, approvals, appraisals, most of that can happen online or over the phone. A lot of buyers even start touring homes virtually before flying in. I work with relocation buyers from Chicago, California, East Coast states, every single week. You do not need to be physically here just to get started. And honestly, many buyers can narrow things down enough that one focused weekend trip is all they need before making an offer. Buying from out of state is much more manageable today than most people think. A few mistakes I see consistently that end up costing buyers time, money, or opportunities. Mistake number 1, waiting too long to get pre-approved. In this market, pre-approval isn't just paperwork, it's preparation. Mistake number 2, assuming timelines are flexible. Once you're under contract, everything starts moving quickly. Inspection, appraisal, financing, closing. The process works much smoother when buyers stay proactive. Mistake number 3, only talking to one bank. And this is honestly a big one. A bank can only offer that bank's products. A broker can compare options across multiple lenders and help structure the loan around your situation, especially for relocation buyers. That flexibility matters. The right preparation and the right lending strategy can save buyers a tremendous amount of stress. Let me give you a real example. I had a buyer relocate from Chicago to Indianapolis last year. Solid income, good credit, stable job, but homeownership in Chicago just kept feeling further and further away financially. We got him pre-approved remotely in just a day. He ended up buying a 4-bedroom home in Fishers for around $289,000, property taxes about $2,800 per year, comparable taxes in many Chicago suburbs, closer to $7,000 to $8,000 annually. He closed in about 28 days. And what really stood out to him was this. His mortgage payment, taxes, and insurance combined were lower than what he had been paying for rent in a 2-bedroom apartment back in Chicago. Same income, completely different quality of life. This is the Indiana story a lot of out-of-state buyers don't fully realize until they actually see the numbers. If you're thinking about buying in Indiana or relocating here from anywhere, drop me a comment, send me a DM, or go to levelupmortgage.net. I'll run your real numbers and tell you exactly what this looks like for your situation. And if you know someone who's thinking about getting out of Illinois or California, send them this video. The math is there. They just need to see it. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. I'll see you there. If you own a home or thinking about buying one, this channel was built for you. Getting a mortgage should not feel this complicated. But for most people, it does. Too many options, too much jargon, and lenders who are not always working in your best interest. You end up making one of the biggest financial decisions of your life, feeling like you're flying blind. Not sure who to trust, not sure if you're getting a fair deal. I'm Mike Hengy. I've been an independent mortgage broker for 14 years, and I've helped over 1,000 families buy homes, refinance smarter, and make decisions they actually feel confident about. I work for you, not a bank. That means I shop dozens of lenders to find the right loan for your situation, and I walk you through every single step in plain English, so you always know exactly where you stand. Here's what I want to do for you on this channel. Every week I break down mortgages in plain English. Buying, refinancing, move-up strategies, market updates, and the mistakes that cost people thousands. No fluff, just the information you actually need to make a confident decision. Mortgages made clear, confident, and simple. That's what this channel is all about. If you're ready to take the next step, the description has 2 free guides. One's for buyers, and one's for homeowners that are thinking about refinancing. Start there, it's free, and it takes 5 minutes. And if you want clarity every week, subscribe. I'll see you there.